Oh man, I think I forgot to record it. Hold on. See, there's an option for that. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Long time no see. Hope everybody had a great holidays, plural, Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, there's. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Everybody had some good times. I've been talking to people, and everybody seems to have had a little bit of a more relaxed, holiday and all this stuff, which is good. I think it's been something we all need to definitely do a lot more of is relax. So yeah, it seems like it's going good for everybody. Hopefully the energies you guys are feeling are helping. There's going to be a lot to purge. And so I kind of want to talk about that on this episode here where um, I mean, we're always purging, but there's a strong energy for the new, and it's going to be really important that you take care of yourself and you make sure you're vibing high. So whatever you need to do, music or you know, baths, showers, saunas, working out, whatever, do something for yourself, even if it's just having a lazy day and just, sleeping in. And, it's important that we get our rest. There's all those phases that we go through while we're sleeping, which are super important to not ignore. Sometimes sleep is the best thing, right? Because it gets you out of the way of yourself. So, but I did want to talk about the fringe, being on the fringe, being on all these levels and whatnot. That there's just so much information coming out now, and so it's really interesting. I think for any and all of us who've been part of this for so long. Shout out all you guys, the Soul Fam, the whole all of humanity, really, which is what a lot of people I feel like we're all coming into. So it's interesting being on the fringe, if you will, and we wanted to talk about the fringe today because it's been it's been going on for a very long time, and most of the things that people talk about, say, come out with are typically fringe type of things. So we may have, you guys may have heard this before, where we're on the cutting edge of creation and etc. These types of things. So it really depends where you're at in everything, because I think as we all well, I think, yeah, as we all start to do this more and more, we're going to come together more and more. Hey, B Ray, what's happening, bro? Hope you had a good holidays and everything, man. Um, but it's. Oh, hold on, my incense went out. This is a thick old one. I was like, good lord, this stick's gonna burn forever. Um, Yeah, and the fringe, being on the fringe, it's something that we're all used to. At least a lot of us, right? I think the issue is that you can't hold down all of humanity, oppress all these people, and not expect something to happen or something to break or somebody to catch on. So it's been a long time coming, but and going, but everybody's starting to realize that now more and more, and whatever it is that people feel, it's going to be really important that we all kind of help them to understand more. And I think I said this sort of on my last one, where just holding the space is going to be so important, because there's going to be a lot more things that are going to happen that are um, probably not new to us, many of us, but they're going to be new to the people. People are going to get floored. They're going to get slammed with not what they think. The idea that, oh, this is just a phase, like it's always been, and eventually everything will get back to normal, and we'll go back to, it's not going to be normal anymore. It's not. It's this is there's a whole lot of more stuff coming out, and it's just going to keep pouring out. And it just started. I mean, to think that we've been under these lockdowns and whatnot just recently, talking about this recent one. Everything else that's going to come now is just going to be more and more and more and more. So extremely important that we all hold the space and just really make time for what's important. I think that's really it. It's a new year, quote unquote. To me, it's just another day, but I get the sentiment around it, and it's important to realize that, because what people are collectively thinking and doing, this is what drives a lot of the energy that we deal with all the time. So that's why crazy hecticness in the holidays, but then also great joy and love and family and rekindling for friendship, whatever, seeing people you haven't seen in a while, stuff like this. And so it's all changing, but being on the fringe typically means that you're always going to be doing something um, on the fringe, cutting edge. It's not, one thing that I notice about all of this, that since I've been doing this for a while now, is there's a lot of new people coming. And when I say new people, it's not new because we're all soul family. We're all, on other realms, higher selves, all this working together, all this kind of stuff. So, for me, it's a lot of, I see a lot of new people coming out, and they're all at different stages, and they're all still, within their paradigm of even what the spiritual realm is, and I'm always here to, tease everybody and to talk smack about all of us, because that's my way of, making it equal across the board. I'll do it to myself too. But it's really important that everybody keeps moving forward, and there's going to be a lot to purge, having to do with the past. So for me, today I was sweating like buckets on the inside, but I was, chilly on the outside, almost like, something. So, and it could be the weather, it could be anything like that. But when I sat with it for a while, there's an upgrade, and there's a purge, and there's a lot of things coming in with these new energies, and it's always happening. So it just kind of depends which one hits you and where and when and why. So it's not like you ever get over your ascension symptoms or, anything like this. And, even that concept of, oh, I want to ascend, or I want to light body this and that. And then, well, then what? Then what do we have to do, right? There's still more consciousness for you to download. There's higher vibrations still to get back in touch with, to get in touch with. So there's a lot of this stuff happening now. And I think that with, as I've said before, a lot of people need the structure, like in the sense of what I've said before, like, all the things to learn. You don't really need them all, but there's going to have to be a lot of that, so that people can actually have something tangible to grasp. And because when changing their mentalities or their energetic vibrations, having something tangible is very important, especially in the spiritual realm, where it's a lot of it is in the non-physical, and non 3D physical. It's not that it's not physical, but it's definitely different. And then there's that gap where people aren't used to. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out. It's going to be ideally smooth going. The more of us that are out and about talking about this stuff, the better. Shout out to the whole tribe of spiritual beings that's here, right? Everybody everywhere doing everything that we can possibly do to just get people, woke up to this stuff, awakened to these things, because being on the fringe, yeah, it means you always kind of have to stay one step ahead of as many people, or like of anybody, of anything. So I think that's been a common theme for a long time, with everybody being on the fringe and everybody challenging the norms, and what does this mean, and what does that mean, how's this going to play out, how can we predict the future, how can I do this, how can I do that, and a lot of those truths, those deep wisdom, truth, knowledge, knowings, sometimes you can't, sometimes it just is what it is. And you'll notice stuff like that. One thing that came to me is resonating with something is, there's a difference between resonating with something and then finding yourself excited about it, and then thinking that you resonate with it because you're excited about it or something like that. And not that you aren't, but just because it's excitement. So we have to watch that, right? Because we're taught that if it's bad, or, it feels bad, so we want to be happy. So we go to the happy and the fun and the exciting thing, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you resonate with it necessarily. It's something good, it's something happy. You can choose to resonate with that energy. But there's a difference between something that you resonate with. So it's like your past selves or your higher self, the idea of like, dragons and, and all these different beings, fairies, and, all the different realms and all different people. And sometimes people say, oh, you are a dragon, you're not a dragon, or do you think you're one, or I am, or I'm not. And so it's the concept of, do you really resonate with that, not based off of the archetypes that are apparent in the world, like, oh, breathes fire, blah 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 blah, like, sure, those are descriptors, but resonating with stuff, it doesn't always mean that it's going to be good, is what I'm getting at. Sometimes if you're like a dragon, you might have a memory or resonate with a negative side of that dragon. It doesn't mean that you're negative. Doesn't, this stuff with ego and this and that and this and that, it's all a part of us. It's all part of what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to integrate, every single aspect of it. So it's not about a competition, right? And that's what the world promotes, is being number one, better than other people, who's right, who's wrong, your channel's wrong, or your what you're talking about is wrong, or I don't resonate with that, and this and this. And it's all part of the growth. As soon as anybody starts to think that you don't have anything else to learn or anything else to grow or anything else, that's when you just stop. It just stops for you, and I think that that's what happens a lot with this staleness, if you will. We all grow up, we learn life a certain way, and then we try to keep it that way, stay in our comforts, and things like this. But there's so many more aspects to just what is being talked about, in the average spiritual realm. Is it a bunch of beings on other planets? Sure, why not? Is it you guys and me guys? Is it us, humanity? Sure, why not? Is it a whole bunch of other beings that are here too? Sure, why not? It goes so much more deeper and into so much more history. And all of that history is why you're here and why I'm here. All of it. Every single piece of it. When we're not here and we know it all, we can see it all, we can, access all the information, and then we chose to come. So there's a lot more than just like, your natal chart, or there's a lot more than just those things. The natal chart, for example, is who you are. It's how you operate, right? It's not what you are or who you are. You know what I mean? It's how you operate. So we have to even that step away from. Like I'm always saying, step back, step back, step back, step back, step back. So we get a more clear picture of what's going on. And so being on the fringe, you're always going to be saying the things that people aren't ready to hear, or no matter what, that doesn't, like I say, if you resonate or what, that doesn't mean that, I'm out here or other channels are out here trying to tell everybody what it is and what it is, you know what I mean? Like, even for me, I have to challenge myself. I have to challenge my own, beliefs, what I'm learning, so you don't settle on the result. For me, the reason why I laugh about all this stuff is because I'm not tied to the result. It doesn't have to work a certain way for me. It doesn't have to be, because that's the greatest lesson is, being receptive and being in tune with the universe and, helping the universe, right? As much as it wants to help you, because energy is energy is energy. So you can choose the good, you can choose the bad. In either way, they're both going to want to play with you, So there's a lot of things, that the world has to learn about themselves, about the lies and the misinformation that's out there. And about how this stuff truly works and how we're supposed to come together and not really focus all of our time and our energy on, these, I want to say these negative things going on. But at the same time, that has to be exposed. So we're going to, cool. Oh, wow. Good, man. Yeah, you should. I'm glad you're purging a lot. Yeah, you definitely want to embrace the new. That's what it's all about. You should feel. I'm glad you feel more powerful, or you're feeling powerful. It really is. It's liberating. It changes your energy. You have to move the energy out of the way so that you can make room for the new energy. And a lot of times people are still hung up on, their identities, who I am because of what happened to me, or who I am because of what I do or what I say or what somebody else or whatever, like this, or like that. And a lot of people identify with that, and it's hard for people to really let go. So, the being on the fringe means that, you don't get to be comfortable, and I don't mean it like that, but it's a certain place that will always exist, that will always be challenging anything and everything. I think that's super important, because the biggest challenge you have in life is yourself. So you have to challenge everything you think, everything you do, everything it's like giving love to yourself. How easy is it to give love to somebody that you've fallen in love with, or that you love, what I mean? Give all the love in the world, because and the way you feel, the way you make me feel, we all say, but that's you making yourself feel that way. And that's not what's taught in the world. That's not what's explained. It's, are you giving yourself that same amount of love that you can imagine you could give someone else, or get from someone else who's like the perfect best everything for you? You know what I mean? You have to learn to do that for yourself. So it's all part of being different. And it's not a common thing in the world. Like, culture's okay, and being a little different is okay, but not if you're too far different, right? Because then that means, like if everybody doesn't believe in Jesus, then that means whoever doesn't is a bad person. I mean, we really got to get past all this stuff. And that's what's going to be coming, because there's going to be so much information that it's going to be undeniable. And a lot of people aren't going to know what to do with that. They're not going to know where to place it in their paradigm. They're not going to know what that means. And a lot of people are going to say, "Oh my gosh, I've been fooled all this time, or I this or I that," or it's yeah, it goes deep. But out of the ashes, if you will rise all of the new people. So I'm really excited for all that is going to be coming, as I always am. I still think it needs to happen faster, but it's all just part and parcel of the whole plan. It's definitely something that has taken long enough, and I think we need to really, we need to get the ball rolling here. But it is, because if you break down, time and all this stuff doesn't exist, blah 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 blah. The caveat to that is that it does take time. Everything does take moments, and then a moment, and then another moment, and then another moment to build up. I mean, none of us, nobody can just sit down, meditate, and all of a sudden, boom, you know what I mean? You figured out the whole universe. I mean, it takes time, it takes practice. You have to learn how to do things. So there is time, but it's not, it's like they say, the if we could all imagine it all at once, in a flash, it would all change. And now I honestly don't believe it would be in a flash that it would all change, because essentially that's just describing what it would be like with the higher vibration. So if we're all on a higher vibration, all of a sudden we wake up tomorrow and boom, we're all vibrating in 6, 7, 8 dimensions and densities or whatever, then yeah, sure. But what would happen is this place wouldn't be able to, a lot of stuff would happen. Like, it wouldn't, I love it. Hey, give me a flash, and then all of a sudden I wake, my eyes come back, and then I'm in paradise. Sure, I'm totally down. But why are people believing that stuff? Why do we just want to believe that stuff? There's a lot of things like this, because you think about all the people who have been on the fringe for hundreds of years, all the people that have come and gone, that have always been talking about this kind of stuff, and they've always been seen as crazy outcasts or whatever, whatever it was, or really totally respected, maybe in their little cult or whatever that it was at the time. And then I mean, look at, what's that one guy who got them all to drink poison or something like that, that one guy, that one cult leader, like, like, so are you resonating with that person, or are you just excited for what they're saying based off of your psychology, right? So a lot of this stuff is going to take time because people don't understand their own psychology. People don't even understand it psychology to begin with. I mean, they've heard of it, or but you have to be checking yourself all the time. You have to be on the edge and be on the fringe. And even when you are, there's still limitations to what you can and you cannot do. Still, you have to pass your tests, you have to go through the motions. There's still all of this that has to happen in a certain way so that it'll all work out as best as it possibly can. Yeah. So there is the jumping the gun, and I think that's what I definitely like to do. I like to put it all out there and first and deal with it afterwards. I'm really not here to prove anything or anything to anyone. So come and go as you please. But the more of this stuff comes out, it's going to be a lot easier for us to talk about it. And I wanted to say shout out to everybody out there too, because people are talking about all this stuff. So find who you need to listen to based off your level of consciousness so that you can free your mind and you can free your heart. That's what the whole point of the point of all this stuff is. Not to say, oh, I'm a Pleiadian and I blah 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 blah. Like everybody, again, that's people trying to add it up and then say what they deserve because of what it doesn't work that way. It's why commitment and devotion to your cause is one of the most important things that you could ever do, because you can't stay on the fringe if you don't have that. So it's very important to recognize how powerful and how amazing all you guys are just for doing these things, and it'll become easier and easier as more and more people come out. I get friend requests and whatnot, like daily. Like I get like 30 of them daily on Facebook. Thank gosh I'm not on the other platform. Although I might have to be here soon. But it's great talking to people, and I love reaching out and us all getting together and working together. But I'm not looking for another group to join. I'm not looking for so there's a lot of this stuff, and we have to be careful who's doing what and why are they doing it, and are they being honest with you about it. I think what's amazing about it is that we're all going to get together. We're all going to, people who, I just talked to somebody who does amazing art. And I would love to have some of their art showcase. They do dimensional frequency art sort of type. I'm not saying that right, but something else to add as this all comes together. But, as I always say, how many licks does it take to get to this? How many sacred geometry puzzles do we need to solve until, this whole thing starts to get cleaned up and starts to get taken care of properly? Do we need the technology? Yeah, definitely. I can't wait for that technology to be being used all the time. I would love to be there once it all starts off, and we're all going to be here. And it's really important for you to find out where you fit in with all of that stuff so that you can start to contribute, to it all, because it's all just helping. Well, even if it, because like for me, talking my smack on Facebooks or whatever, saying this, saying that, I catch the heat, catch all of the stuff, but it's one of those things that, if I didn't say it, I'd feel worse. You know what I mean? Or I'd feel like I'm not even doing what I'm here to do and here to talk about if I don't say it. But all that stuff's going to come to a close. Yeah, all the censorship and all the it's just going to take time. It's going to take time because we got to pull as many people out of what they're in, and a lot of them don't want to be pulled out of it. So there's literally going to be a process. It has to be a process. There's no other way that this is going to happen. So maintaining our fringe, staying on the fringe, we just got to keep going. It's going to get easier and easier, and we're going to have more energy. We're going to have more information. We're going to have all this stuff coming out. And, the point is to take it and wield it, use it for good, use it for, whatever it is. That's why I say devil, God, devil, heaven, whatever. It's all of these are paradigms that were created in order to enslave people's minds. The whole concept that you have to do this, that, or the other in order to qualify, right? That's a human concept. That's not a soul spiritual. All of you are already qualified. That's why you're here, right? Even the ones who aren't gonna wake up, don't want to wake up, it doesn't matter. You still qualify, and in the highest love, you're loved unconditionally. It doesn't matter. So it's really important to remember these things. Working outside of the norm, being in the fringe, and doing what it is that you came here to do, whatever that is. Not everybody has a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? It's talking about all this stuff like I am, or whatever. But with me gabbing the way I like to gab, and things I like to decipher and dissect, and this is exactly where I need to be helping the world, best as I can. Hey, yo, what's up, Sarah? More energy would be great. Just settle into your body more, because that's how you'll get it. You don't get it by just packing it in, or by taking it, right, like pills and drugs and Advils or whatever everybody wants to take. You just got to settle into your body and just sit with it. Like I say, spend the whole day off if you can, some way, and just sleep on and off all day, and don't worry about anything, and restore your body. And then once you've slept enough and you need to move, go for a walk, stretch your body. That it's us getting out of the way, right? Because even when we're sitting here trying to describe all these energies, how much do we really know about them? All we're doing is describing the effects that they've had on us, et cetera, et cetera. And when you get into the Tao, or the way I like to explain it, the Wu Ji, the oneness, the nothingness, the the whole the name that can be named is not the eternal name, then all we're sitting here doing is describing over and over and over, giving names over and over and over and over to something that already exists. And of course we need to name it, so we can communicate, like I say. But being on the fringe, being on the edge, remembering this is non-physical as much as it is physical. So both, you have to take care of both. Your body, your mind, your soul, everything has to be taken care of. And that's what qualifies you guys, which we don't want to use that word, but that's what qualifies you to do more, to have more energy, to get more energy, right? How well can you go through whatever energy that you just received or have? How much of it can you really transmute? How much heavy, dense fog can you stand in the middle of and shine a light brighter than the fog can ever? And then now in that case, right, what that'll do is that'll just push it out of the way. It doesn't mean that it's actually gone, doesn't mean that it's been transmuted necessarily, right? Real transmutation means you have to take in the energies of otherwise you're not going to understand. It's like we say in common stuff, you want to learn from somebody who's gone through that experience before. Those are the best people that can teach you the most. And so it's kind of the same thing with energies and qualifying. You have to be able to see the hurt in the world, and maybe specifically with situations, and then you have to transmute them. You have to know how to give love to everything all the time in every situation, no matter what. No matter how many powers you think you have, no matter how many powers you don't think you have, no matter how long you've been doing it or not been doing it, how much stuff you got, so much stuff, it doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not going to be weighed by how much you achieved in this life. You're going to be weighed, if you will, by how much kindness did you give, how much patience, how much understanding, how much love did you give to yourself, to the world. That's what really matters, because the power of love is the most powerful thing in the universe, is in the multiverse. So you want to wield ultimate power. Well, you got it. You already have it. You can access it. but can you do it all the time? And I think that's one of the hardest parts. That's why this is such a great school to learn how to do that. Um, but to physically do it and to actually, or somewhat non-physically do it, it takes actual energy. It's going to have to course through you, you know. And so that, like I say all the time, that's the making it real, manifesting, you know, part and all this kind of stuff. You know, the more you can stay in a positive, high vibrational state, the better everything's going to be, because then you'll run into a situation where the same situation, if you're in a low vibe, you might not even engage the situation. If you're in a high vibe, good mood, you're laughing, you're having fun, you might make some connections, you might have a new opportunity, you might have it, right? So the universe is going to constantly bring stuff to you no matter what, and you got to do your best to maintain it. And that is being on the fringe, that is doing the other thing that most people want to do per se in that situation, you know, being able to actually transmute anyone and everyone's energy that's around you. um you know, and like for me, that's what I've learned, you know, the whole time is you know, and then having to learn when you can't, when it's time to back off, or whatever the case. But just going around and shining as bright as you possibly can. And all of that becomes easier to do when you stop listening to what anybody else is saying about whatever you're doing or anything like that. You know, you just, it's the naivete of being a kid, you know, where they just go, 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 go. They're not, you know, they're not hung up on things. They forget most, you know, things that happen, you know, because they're just trying to play again. You know, they're willing to let it go. And as we get older, we're less and less willing to let it go. And for good reason, in a lot of cases, a lot of this stuff needs to be called out, you know, but it's going to keep doing that. And, you know, in that perpetuity, if we don't transmute it and we don't start laughing about it and we don't start seeing how ridiculous it all is, right? Instead of looking at the traumas in the world or the traumas in your life and being afraid of them or what else can happen or this or that, if you can look at them and then just start laughing and being, because you know that you're an infinite being and you will live eternally as your soul, as your higher self, as other aspects of yourself, right? um, and but that's where it all comes from. It's fear. Everything is fear that we're going to die, you know, that we're not, it's not going to be, you know, we're not going to achieve nothing, you know, on earth, and blah, 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 you know, all this kind of stuff. It's all just to warp your mind about what life and creation actually is. And that doesn't mean that we ignore or discard how it's going down here, but you know, being on the front, it's kind of like the concept of like most people want a family and friends, and you know, or you know, the white picket fence, you know, everybody wants, you know, we're all taught that that's, you know, what we want here and there. And but something like that for me, you know, not to say I don't, but that's something that's been going on forever, right? That's why we're here. You know, we've all been, you know, procreating and everything for the longest time. So to me, that's pretty common desires. That's humanity pretty much doing the same thing. The fringe for me is, you know, I want world peace. You know what I mean? Like think of how weird of a concept that is or was, or you know, like, oh, you want world peace? Well, good luck, ho ho ho. You know, and like so everybody just gave up. Like no, that's the fringe to me. Is world peace and people getting along and all this stuff, you know, being fixed, and us attaining our light bodies, you know, while we're physically here on the earth, and you know, being able to integrate this and to do that, you know, to me that's where we're supposed to be going as people. We're not just supposed to be farting around on earth for another 5 billion years and still not really get anywhere. You know, where do we go from here? Well, it's going to be way more stuff than anybody's ever even thought of or even imagined. I mean, and maybe not anybody, but for the most part, you know, most people, when I was growing up 30 years ago, whatever, you know, 30, 40, 50 years ago, say stuff like that, that, you know, there's a whole slew of people, generations who were taught, you know, humanity is the only race in the whole galaxy, and Christianity is your only salvation. And what was that? You know, that you're all born sinners. You know what I mean? Like Excuse me. Yeah. I know I'm only 2 years old, but we need to talk. Because I'm about to slap you upside the head. As a 2 year old, like what, there's a lot of weird stuff that still has to be, and that's where it all comes from. People who don't really know um, the bigger story. It's not that they don't know, but it's that there's a lot more of this going on. And it's got so much more way more to do with everything, anything and everything than, this little tiff between a fallen angel and then the other human guy who came to save everyone from that fallen angel. It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't. So they came to do what exactly? You know what I mean? To do what we're all doing right now. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's tough. Are you guys? Is he must have been new? He must have been new. When he came here to do his thing. And he showed the example. Yeah, sure. I hope that's not what we have to do. Right? Otherwise, we're not making it much past 30 or however old he was when they captured him. Whatever. We're trying to evolve past all of this stuff. And so being on the fringe is anything and everything that isn't what everybody else has been saying or what everyone else, and challenging it all and being comfortable. Like I say, it's when you're an infinite being, it allows you to be more comfortable with life and the things that happen in the universe, that it's so bigger than you can. It doesn't matter what you can channel source, channel all of it. You're still not going to know what's to come. You know what I mean? Unless you stay there consistently, like every night you just sit there and watch the collective, like every single night when you go to sleep you're just watching the collect. Like that's the only chance. And then what do? What are we supposed to do? So now you see this big picture and all the stuff that's coming and it's going to happen. Now it's just going to spur you into doing stuff, but now you got to think as you're human and you got to think, well, what can I do? We can do that and talk with your soul, talk with your other aspects. How can I help explain to people something that they can't even fathom is an actual thing, that they won't even believe when I'm telling them it to them, right? So, and then they say, some people don't want to know, and I said, all right, well, then send me the people who do, so help them to figure out a way to realize that it's not so scary, because anybody who doesn't want to wake up or whatever, or ascend, it that kind of took me off too when I heard that one, with spirit, where they say, because we've heard that forever, some people just aren't gonna ascend, some people don't want to, and honestly I think that they do want to, but their human is too bogged down that they're shutting it off on the human level. So it's not that their souls don't want to, right? Everybody wants to be free and feel liberated and have comfort and have this and this and this and this and this, right? But the path to doing that is difficult because people haven't accepted the concept or the download that maybe what they think it is isn't what it is. You know what I mean? So it all just comes from the human side mostly, at least for a lot of that, and this is why they're going to need a lot of information. Because everything is about being credible, and I got too much of this smoke going on. It's just, you're either still arguing and you're still fighting or you're not. It's kind of like if you're in a relationship, for example, right, and you're trying to open your heart and this and this, and let's say your partner is still living in the duality, right? Then you're always kind of going to be living on like eggshells, like feeling like you have to toe the line back and forth, because if you're anybody who's still thinking of things as good and bad and thinking of like, that means that there's something that you can do that will totally shut them off of caring about you, or totally not make them like you anymore, right? Whereas an unconditional love is, oh, I see what you're doing, what is that doing for you? How do you want to, what is that, where are you going with this, et cetera. And then if it's something that's a lifestyle and you don't want to have anything to do with it, then you break it off. Right. But again, people, why are we afraid to do that in relationships, or people get afraid to, oh, we've been together for all this time. I don't know who else to date. I got to get back out there and I got to do, you know what I mean? It's all because of this warped dating thing that goes on, the way people interact with each other, the way everybody wants to find like the perfect person for themselves. Why aren't we? It should be really, we should be talking, hanging out, doing it, you know what I mean? And it's not to say that we're not, but a lot of reasons for that is because of people's shadow work that they don't do, or, living in a dualistic nature when you're talking about love and when you're embracing love. Love don't need your excuses. It don't need your nothing. It just needs the love, and that's it. Now obviously, if somebody's giving Indian burns and they doing a number on you, you're not gonna, say, I love you, but at the same time, you kind of want to say that, and there's nothing that disarms negativity than love. It just throws them all off. If he's sitting there giving you Indian burns, like, hey, you like that? You like that? And you just smile and you go, I love you. Like, that's going to creep him out. It's going to creep him out. Whoa, what? Like, oh, yes, do it some more, please. Yes. You're so strong. You're so strong and manly. Ooh, look at those. Ooh, look at that. Look how good you are at being bad. You know what I mean? Like, just start messing with people, and it cuts the tension. So it's not easy, but people are stuck living and justifying the reason why they're upset. I've said this before on the show too. Stop justifying the tragedy that's in your life. Everybody has something, whatever, but if you're defining who you are based off of something that happened, years ago, and then ever since then that happened, and then this is how I am. It's like, okay, yeah. So now what? Like, move on. You have to move on, and that's tough, because we all make mistakes. And that's a part of this whole place. Like, if you came to Earth and you thought you were just going to nail it like 100% straight A's, no, you're not. You're just not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even if you're the nicest person, I don't care if you're Gandhi, I don't care if you're Mother Teresa, I don't care. Like, you know what I mean? There's been a point where maybe you said something that maybe you shouldn't have said because the person wasn't ready, or they were ready, or you got belligerent and you just threw it out there without thinking. I mean, there's too much, and that's the whole trap and the fear about making you think that if you're not good enough, you don't qualify and you don't deserve to go home, right? And there's nothing worse than tricking people, to me, than messing with people like that. That tips me off. Okay, like 100,000%. Don't start telling people what you think because you're the fucking know it all. 100%. And that's the whole problem with the world, though. That's what everybody wants. And like like I've said, I don't know if I said it, so like, I'm not gonna ask a painter to build a house for me. Sure, you ask somebody who knows, you know what I mean? But we're talking about a non-physical, energetic life that it always is. It always has been, right? It's not made because of what the laws say. You know what I mean? This place is here for a whole lot more magical reasons, than I don't know, we made money, and then, people and wars, and then we built stuff. It's this is Groundhog's Day. We ain't the first people to ever do this kind of stuff. So we got to keep all this going. We got to be staying on the fringe, guys. Hey, love you guys. Good to see you. Hugs, loves and hugs. Nobody gets straight A's on Earth. Exactly. So it's that's why I say it's just being on the fringe. We're always on the fringe, We always have been. They make it so it's scary. Well, right. It's really not scary because ever since I've been on well, out in public on the Fringe, I've met more friends. I've met more friends on the Fringe, you know what I mean, than I've ever, and there's only more and more and more of us out there coming and coming and coming. So it's going to be great, honestly. And the whole thing about embracing it, it really will get you there sooner. So stop being afraid of everything. Excuse me, burping. Let's pull some cards, guys. Woo! Okay, we're doing these guys. These are my faves. I'm bringing Odin back because Ravens, right? Shout out Ravens. The Ravens are here. We got a lot of stuff to clean up. We're gonna need some Ravens. We're gonna need whole flocks of ravens to transmute all this energy. So I'm excited. I'm always excited. I don't know. I'll tell you guys. The trick is just laughter. Laughter, 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 laughter. Have fun. Have as much fun. You know what? Did I even get to, is that one card? Is it just, all right, first card. Look who it is. Yeah. Yeah, look how big and scary that guy. Ooh, he's so big and scary. Oh no, what we're going to do. Right. All right. Well, there you go. Talking about purging, huh? What's the next one for the... Nine? These are 9 or 11. 9 of cups. Oh, look at that. That's a ton of... Look at all the fruit. Look at that. Where'd you find so many cups with all that fruit in it? That's what I want to know. They're ravens. They're crows. Crow tarot. They find everything. You can't get nothing past the crows. They're seeing everything. All right. Early cards on this one. I like it. And then we got the 5 of cups. Oh, what are you talking about? I'm going to get some clarity on this one. What's the clarity you got for us? Just tell me. All right. Just tell me then. All right. So devil energy. Kind of past, present, future. I always like to pull 3 crow tarots for the week ahead. So purge. Yeah, I would say just purge for the first part. Just purge. Just purge. Don't worry about it. Just purge. Just purge and you'll be fine. Just purge. Say, hey, how's it going? Love you, miss you. Oh, those Indian burns. Oh, right. And then just love them and love them and love them, because then your love will overwhelm your body, your mind, your soul. And then it doesn't matter what happens here, right? What happens is, talked about in the show before, it's when all that external stuff comes in and then starts becoming important. When, for me as a kid, naive, whatever, when we're all young, I think the older we get, the more we realize, like, oh, I said it like that, and so that's why they respond. Like we learn. Our frontal cortex starts, coming online and everything. So as kids, it's there's that innocence, and the only time it became a problem was when that first person got offended. You know what I mean? Like otherwise, it was, but we were all just being kids, being stupid and silly, and just playing around and doing whatever. Right? So all of that old stuff, all of that stuff's gotta go. Like the like I say, snapping, flash, boom, all of a sudden we're there. I would be a completely different, like, embodied. Like I would, you know what I mean? That's literally like the flash happens, and then all of us like wake up and then sit up in the morning and bang our heads on the ceiling because now we're all 10 feet tall. You know what I mean? Like if we just, so just keep your purges. We know what the devil can be. It's all the temptation. It's all of this. It's all of that. But for me, this represents more of the fact that it's just being shown now. The devil's being shown. The devil's being called out. Hi, guys. Hey, devil. How you doing? How's it been? You got them Indian burns? I've been missing them Indian burns. I miss hanging out with you, devil. You crazy. So no, start having, no. The devil isn't even a thing. It's a concept. That's all it is. because it's you. We've already talked about this. It's you. It's you who did it. The devil didn't do anything, unless you're walking down the street and then all of a sudden something cold cocks you from the side and no one's around. Then you could be like, okay, maybe it was the devil, in that case. But what like this whole idea of possession. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I think I've talked about this on the show too. You ain't never possessing this ever. Sorry, it's not gonna happen. I don't know why people even question it, right? But then that's what the possession is, right? It's you choosing to do what you're choosing to do. It ain't got nothing to do with no devil, right? And then again, what's good, what's bad, it's all relative. I mean, that's a long conversation on just this card alone. This is pretty much you bringing up everything, and that's why I love you. I just, so much. You're so scary. Okay, we'll let him sit over there. Okay, and then what is this? 9 of Cups. What's that mean, guys? You guys know tarot better than I do. Shoot, I don't even know why I'm doing these things half the time. I can't remember them all. 9 of Cups. That's like you got too much stuff going on. Good for you. But is he sitting there? Looks like he's looking towards the sun for the new. Looks like he's getting ready to plant. Look at all them seeds. Them's all seeds right there. Let's do 9 of Cups. I'm going to read it. What's the 9 of Cups? Hi, Rue. Welcome. Glad to see you. I'm pretty funny. I actually am like, this ain't nothing. You haven't seen funny yet. Wait until I start challenging all of them. That's when it gets fun. For me. That's for sure. Let's see. I am your friendly neighborhood ancient elder. Let's just put it that way. Ninja. Key. Gotta be the ninja. Proud Crow stands on top of all the riches he's been able to collect. Of course. Actively went to each desire the positive. Wait, what? That's not a sentence. Because he actively went after each desire, the positive energy of the universe conspired with him to ensure the fulfillment of his wishes. His mission is now complete. He can enjoy a life that meets all of his needs and then some. He stands there feeling a bit superior, but also incredibly grateful for his life of leisure and comfort. When the 9 of Cups appears, be ready to accept all the abundance and joy of a wish fulfilled. You've earned it. See? So purging. Okay, everybody's purging right now. A lot more stuff because we have all this new stuff that's coming, right? Realizing once you purge this, you realize you're already this, right? And you get to live, and you are comfortable, right? We're all used to our own lives, so we are comfortable. We're a lot more comfortable than we often give ourselves credit for. It's the outside thoughts and outside things that make us start to feel uneasy and uncomfortable. Hopefully you don't have too bad of self-talk. And if you do, just keep purging. Stay clean, stay clear, purge, and talk good to yourself. Like I said earlier, you got to love yourself as much as you love everyone and anything else. As much as you would love someone that you fell in love with, you need to give yourself that much love too. Right? We all know this. The Crow, the 5 of Cups, stands on a riverbank consumed with loss and unable to find the path out of despair. Because his focus is directed only on what he has lost, he's unable to see the riches in his life. The 5 of Cups suggests that you move away from a mindset of lack and look for areas of your life that are positive. Message 5 of Cups, replace feelings of scarcity with gratitude. Exactly. Be happy for the things that you don't have. Every time I forget something, and then the older generation, moms, grandpa, somebody, they say Alzheimer's, haha, and I can't wait because I don't want to remember half of this stuff anyways, right? I mean, and I'm kidding, but, I'm glad for when I don't remember something. Everybody thinks it's a problem. You need to take more ginkgo biloba so you can remember stuff. Hey, listen, if I need to remember it, I'll remember it. If I don't, then I don't. So, Alzheimer's can, we need to revisit what this Alzheimer's thing is. I mean, sure, if your memory brain cells are actually deteriorating, then that's all that's happening. Call it what you want to call it. but they're making a disease out of everything so that they can give you the pill for it. That's the only reason we got all the shaky leg syndromes. Yeah, listen, you got a leg thing and your leg shakes more than normal. That's okay. Sure. It's not like it's not a thing, but not everything's just a condition that needs to be, we're all suffering from. They're just trying to make more suffering, right? We just come to earth to get old and then die and then blah, blah. No, there's a lot more going on down here. Just try to enjoy it while you're here. Try to enjoy all of your time because, yeah, you guys know. You've been watching me for a while. Maybe some might be new, but yeah, I'm a different channeler in my own ways. And by saying I'm different, that's the same as what everybody else is doing, right? I know. So at some point, it's all going to come together, like Michael's been telling you guys for the longest time. There's so much more happening, and there's so much more behind these archetypes and understanding the story of the archetypes and how it all got here and why it's still here. How it's supposed to work, how it's not supposed to work. Nope, we're only doing one of you. Oh, of course, that's why we're only doing one of you, because we got Freya. We don't need nobody else. We got Freya going on. That's the wife of the Odins. So what you want to know about Freya? Let's see. On the bottom, we have the Earth, the new Earth card. Well, it's Odhal. It's the Earth and the heavens. In abundance. So we got Freya. You guys know who Freya is. I shouldn't even have to explain Freya. You guys don't know who Freya is. Love, baby. That's right. Love. Freya is the only female named for the Vanir, a group of demigods that represent fertility. The Vanir once rivaled the Aesir, another dominant group of gods that included Odin and Thor, but eventually became part of the Aesir. Anatomically speaking, Vanir means friend in Scandinavian language. Freya is the object of desire for the giants. She embodies love and fertility. She is a powerful shaman who knows the form of magic known as Sadir. The ability to use this kind of magic means that she can determine the fate of men and women, cause ill health, and even arrange deaths. She rides into battle in a carriage drawn by cats and takes half the dead with her to the great hall called Sessrumnir, located in Volkswagener. Her husband, the Norse god, not Odin, Odor, often left her alone and she would cry tears of red gold. At the same time, she has been accused of being a lover to all of the Aesir, elves, giants, and dwarves. By drawing this card, you invoke a powerful goddess known for her sexual prowess throughout the 9 realms. Freya's card puts you on notice that your sexual energy needs to be grounded and not misused. The greatest magic is our ability to embody divine love. Do not mistake your power for that of a demigod. You're responsible for your karma and soul's journey. Freya teaches that love is the most potent magic throughout the realms. It is so important that many of the gods have borrowed her cloak of falcon feathers for the purpose of bestowing fertility and love. If you find yourself feeling alone and unloved, ask Freya to envelop you in her falcon cloak and receive the gifts of her magic. Yay, I love Freya. So boom. That's Freya. That's like the only other one we could have got is like Odin in himself or Jormungandr or the Tree of Life. There's actually, it's Vikings. There's a lot of powerful ones. See, I'm telling you, I love these guys. They just know. They know what to say. They know how to hook me up and hook all you guys. Right? They bring it all home. What? Does it go upside down? Hold on, guys. Hold on. It's many crisis going on over here. What kind of books are you trying to be? They're throwing me off, guys. It's the underworld, but it's not, because it's the overworld, because it's the underworld, because it's above, so below. So stop being confused and stop worrying about it all. Oh, and I got a surprise for you guys. Oh, well, I'll tell you guys maybe in a little bit. But Michael's going to be doing retreats in some of the most beautiful places on a yacht, in some boats. Shout out Ben. Thank you, Ben. Who probably won't watch this, and it's not the Ben those of you who know me might think of that I've mentioned before. It's a different Ben. But yeah, tell your friends. You guys want to go on a retreat? Let's go on a yacht in tropical paradise. Let's go. So keep an eye out, and you'll be seeing the advertisements and the promos for all of that we got to set up and get marketing and whatever, all that kind of fun stuff to do. So I'm super excited, guys. Retreats. All right. Tell you more about it next time. Let's see. We got Sacred Earth Oracles, which I love these cards. This cards. What did you mean by that? See, they say the words like this cards. Like talking is just non-existent. Like they don't need to talk. It's not word. It's like so much nicer. It's so much easier to use telepathy. I'm telling you guys. All right, but we got to develop it. We got to get good at it. We got to learn it more and more and more. Like I was saying on my that was the interview with Jeanette. I had that example where, it was just clear as day, telepathy. Who's now? Who's now? Uh-huh. Yeah, I already thought it was going to be you. I knew it. As soon as I said telepathy, I knew it was coming. All right, come on. One card for this move. We got too many cards. We're just doing the week, although I might not be back in a week, and I know I apologize for that. Just everything going on, holidays, retreats, having to make my own retreats up, which I think you guys are going to love. I know you guys are going to love. I'm bringing the rain. All right, let's see. What do we got? Sentry. As we have the Sentry card. It means the Sentry. I think we all know what this is, but I like reading these things because then you get what someone else has got to say about it, right? So the earthly meaning says, do not confuse selfishness with self-centering. There it is again, centering, not centering. CENTRING. See, I like these. That's why I like these cards. Whoever, they talk like they're supposed to talk, not like your English class told you to talk. Bring your well-being, your values, your future, and your loves to the center of your world. Break the hold of objects, habits, or relationships that insist you revolve around their needs and demands. Being centered makes you stronger and more balanced, and disturbances are less likely to knock you off course. Heck yes, of course, 100% of the time. Extend your positive sphere of influence. Totes. Spiritual meaning, let go of fixed expectations and time frames. Try to be patient, flexible, adaptable, and open-minded. You are well on the way to arriving at your heart's desire. An invisible force gently pushes and pulls you towards your true center. Let go and let it flow. It has been a long journey, but the destination is so much closer than you think. Boom! And why is that? Because it's already inside of you. It's always closer than you think. It's all way closer than anybody thinks. It's right here, right now. There is no other time, guys. The future is in the future, and we're not in it yet. And the past is gone. We're not there either. There is only the now. We just reference it. We just have words so we can reference things and we can communicate with each other. All right. The words aren't important, but they are. Yeah. Anyways, this is why this stuff's hard for people to understand. There's a lot of back and forth. That's why I've always said you guys should read the Tao Te Ching if you haven't, because that will understand you. That's not the word I wanted, but I don't think there's a better word. That will set you up with your gnosis. All right. It'll at least start picking at it. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Oh. At first you're like, what? Maybe somebody, right? But it makes sense. So that's only the first verse. There's 81 verses. Have at it. Knock yourself out. But it's an amazing poetry book. It's ancient wisdom poetry, you know. I love it. All right, let's see. Now we got Galactic Heritage. These are my favorite cards that I have. So thank you. 100%. These are the cards I want to mess with. You know what I mean? Galactic Heritage. Okay. So now we're going to start putting faces behind some of this stuff. I can't wait. Let's get this real history story. Let's get this on the road. Okay. We got enough. There's millions of tarot cards. There's millions of them. And they're all the same ones. I mean, no, they're slightly different based off who made them, but it's the same archetype. It's tarot cards. They're all the same. You know, they're not, you know, so I like these kinds of guys, these ones that go into the history, you know, or oracle cards, right? I prefer, just in a sense, because it's their own unique message, and it's not just pulling another tarot card or something like that, you know. That's just my preference. Doesn't mean I like them any less or more. It's just what I prefer. Jeez. Three cards. You better pick a good third one. Freaking flipping this one out like a maniac. Oh, yeah. Here, look at. They're kind of just talking about that with Freya. All right, hold on. Uno más. Come on, guys. There it is. Ooh, that was a good one. I like the way you did that. That was like receptive, but also not. I was like, here, take this one. But maybe if you want to, I'm just going to float right now. Okay. Oh, my God. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Yeah, we know. That's what it's always been. I know, right? Okay. So now what? All right. So mental transformation is the first one. It never focuses on the card. Are you looking at my eyes? What is it? Okay. Boom. Serious future mental transformation. Hello. Do I have to say any more? Okay. Next card. Mental transformation. Serious future. Yeah, that's coming from this Syrians. Yeah, we know that. We know all about you guys. Thank you. 94. Beliefs, habits, and mental attachments cause most of the distress that we experience as humans. Hello. Sometimes we don't even see. This is why I do what I do the way I do it. Like, I'm already there, guys. I don't, we don't need all these cards, but everybody needs cards so they can feel better, I guess. I don't know. And I'm teasing. I told you I tease all of us because I love cards. Look at all my cards. I got tons of them. Right? I love all this stuff, but you don't need them. We don't need them. All right. Be nice. One rule to rule them all. One video to fix all videos ever made about any of this stuff. Just be nice to yourself, to others. That's it. Like, it's already done. We already know. We have the list. Be grateful. Be unconditionally loving as much as you can. And all of these things, be kind. And that's it. That's it. It's done. There's nothing else to talk about. But instead, everybody's got to argue about it for some reason, because they want you to buy their stuff. It's all just a scam to steal your mind or your energy or your light. Beliefs, habits, and mental attachments cause. Oh yeah, I already read that part. Sometimes we don't even realize we have them. True. Now that we are making a planetary transition, it requires us to let go of these obstacles to true awakening. Purging. Our future serious friends who have released these obstacles can help us with this because they provide loving guidance to help us navigate the transition. Yeah. This card asks you to be truthful about your limiting beliefs and habits, even the positive ones, and open yourself up to new and flexible ways of thought and being. And then the commentary is pretty cool. This card accesses energy from the Syrian era after they became an awakened species and transcended into a non-physical fifth density state. The Syrians from this era are a great model for humans because when they were, remember, if is it non-physical? No, it's just non 3D Earth physical. Okay, so we're just referencing the veil. You know what I mean? It's not like they're not, but that makes more sense to us to say non-physical fifth density state. They're a great model for humans because when they were young, their species had many of the same challenges that plague humans now. One of these challenges is that humans are often their own worst enemies because of their destructive thought patterns and continuous sabotage, spiritual growth, and the transformation of the planet. That continually sabotage. When the Syrians were able to transcend their destructive mental patterns, they were able to make their planetary transition with ease. If this card is in your spread, look to the other cards as well as your life circumstances for future clues. The meaning may have to do with the needed transformation that must take place in your thought and belief patterns in order for you to make a shift. Conversely, the card may be acknowledging that you have made the shift and are ready to move into a new level of growth. Self-honesty will be needed in order to know which of these options or another is accurate. It is quite possible that guides from the Sirius era are working with you in your growth. If you feel this is the case, open yourself even more to the wisdom they can share with you. Do not fear this change, for freedom always comes from this type of mental transformation. Well, yeah, freedom only comes from being able to mentally do anything. Freedom is freedom is freedom, right? So, we all want to transform. We need to want to be free. That's me on my fringe again, right? Instead of all of us having to go through all of our psychological, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of our traumas, blah, 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 blah. We could skip all of that if we could all find the place of love, unconditional love and kindness and caring and forgiveness and gratefulness for all of creation. We could skip all of this stuff. And then doesn't mean that we wouldn't then talk about it and people would process, if they have, pent up emotion, that's fine. But, all these schools and, what I mean? Like all this, like experts to help you with your, pain. It's all just paying people to, like it's, we should just be helping each other anyway. This should be normal. Like this should be everyday stuff that humans do for each other because we're all together in this. And anyways, you guys know how I feel about that. I'll stop talking about that for now, right? But mental transformation is definitely on the bag, baby. It's coming. Get ready. Get ready to mentally transform. This next one, seduction and addiction. Boom. That one's big. This one is a big one. Okay. This one is very important. 58. Let's see what it's got to say. Each time we engage in a habit or thought pattern, it grows stronger. We eventually crave the fulfillment of the habit like a drug. The thought of fulfilling that habit acts like the seduction for the ego. It must engage in this behavior pattern in order to feel normal. This is true for our addiction to polarity, judgment, categorization. We're compelled to judge everything we see or experience in order to make sense of reality and feel safe. But if our consciousness and thus our planet is going to transform, we must learn to resist the seduction of this addiction, which will shift us to a transcended state. Perfect. Just what I've been saying this whole time. Okay. Does that make sense? Is this coming into more clarity for us all? Guys, come on now. We got to love ourselves. It's the psychological warfare. That's what I've been saying. All of this. It's got sticky on it. So it's dry. It's all the psychological warfare. It's been going on forever, right? We talk about this all the time. Safety, comfort levels, not comfort. You have an ego, you don't have an ego. You want to be a star seed or you want to be earth soul or angel or you want to be, it's all in your heads, in all of our heads. We need to just let it all go, because the only true freedom is when you don't have to care about all this stuff, right? But why do we? Well, because you think you still do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Because you're hooked on it. It's not because anybody else is hooked on it. Now, don't get me wrong. We live in the world. There's a lot of things everybody's hooked on, blah, blah, blah. But how does any of that get fixed? Well, the people who are still hooked on it are still making it powerful because they keep thinking about it, right? So it's like all this queen stuff that's coming out. Like if I don't want to be a king, I don't know why all these women want to be queens. I don't get it. You know, if it's not obvious to say that it's because they feel oppressed and so now they want to be powerful, I don't know how else to put it. It doesn't take spiritual genius to figure out why all of this is happening. You know, it's obvious, you know, and people need to stop worrying about being a queen. You know what I mean? Like, just, you know, no title necessary for me to be free, especially to be free. You're not going to be a queen either. You know what I mean? That don't mean you're free, um, or as a king. So I don't know why people want those things. I don't, right? They have to deal with their higher selves and who they're getting to know within themselves and who they think they are and what they think they're doing, right? We're all kings, we're all queens, we're all the things, you know, but it's why do you need to do that, right? Because you feel oppressed. That's what everybody does. Why do we want freedom? Because we've been oppressed, right? It all works. It's simple stuff, guys. This is really simple stuff. I got to find a way to, you know, spirituality 101. That's going to be my course. I got to start that. I don't even know. It's going to be a 101, 102, 103, 104 all wrapped up in one. There's not going to be any way. You got to explain through all of it. That's going to take steps. It's going to take time. We'll say. All civilizations need guides. See, oh yeah, what I don't read the card. And then look at our last one. Look at, hey, yo, what's up, that way? Look at that shit. So we got mental transformation, seduction and addiction, and then cosmic midwifery. What? I've never seen this card. This is what? But think about what we're doing. Literally. This is literally what's happening all the time. Every single one of us that's out here talking about all this stuff. We're easing we're easing the process for people, right? So this is actually a pretty funny card. I'm surprised this came out. All civilizations need guides, seen and unseen, that help them grow. The Arcturus energy has guided humanity from a place of compassion and unconditional love since its inception. It plays the role of a cosmic midwife. Okay, Arcturus, assisting us through birth and death in the physical reality. Yeah, definitely Arcturians. Yeah. This energy also helps us through major life transitions. You've pulled this card because you have a connection to Arcturians, and in this life or another, that energy is working with you again to reconnect. Visualize a bright orange star and breathe in its energy directly to your heart. Wow, orange too, huh? That's the sacral, and that's what the last one just was: seduction and addiction, right? Mental transformation, yellow right above it. You know, sense of self. I like that it's yellow. It's not mental, so it's not blue or indigo. It's actually it's your sense of self that's changing. So you're yellow, but it's like a light yellow, which is cool. Anyways, colors. That which way? This way. This is the only way. There is only one direction. Okay, you've heard of this. You know who they are. There is but one direction with a J. And only Juan knows the direction. So, and on the bottom, what we can't see, logic and reason. And what does it say? Vega present. Like I say, logic is not a bad thing. The bad thing is indoctrinated logic, right? The bad thing is making you think without your soul, thinking like a machine. That kind of logic is limiting. You know what I mean? The logic is great. You know, logic, reason, it's all great. That's what I feel like. I've been told my whole life, oh, you think too much, you think you're too analytical. And I go, well, it's helped me. It helped me see all this going on when nobody else seemed to admit it or realize it. Like, I like the fact that I logically did research and that it logically led me to the other research and that it logically and reasonably made sense. Like, everybody got to stop. Oh, look at that unconditional love. Boom. Look at that. I was just going to go put the cards away. They're like, quick reminder. Arcturus, again, they got us. Arcturians, they're totally here to help. I love the Arcturians. They have such an amazing ability to maintain their energy from a certain perspective of non-interference, but then while also like teaching and helping, like, and non-judgment and like almost to the point where they don't even care if you got what they're saying. They just say it and then that's it. And then whatever you say back, they're just like, okay, cool. Like, so now what? Like they leave it up to you. Like Arcturians are awesome. They're such good teachers because of that. I think they're great teachers for all of that. So yeah, guys, keep purging. Keep purging. We're on the fringe. You're on the fringe, right? This stuff is the fringe. And it's exciting to be on the fringe, right? We're supposed to be having fun. We're always supposed to be having fun, right? Why? Because you know better. You know what's going on. Live your life, have fun, be free, right? It's more free than a lot of people. Because I've said all the time, wow, we got to get this show on the road, blah 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 blah. And honestly, that's when I'm getting too much into what I think people need. The world, like, oh, world needs to be free. The world, this and that. But even if it does, that's almost not up to me. You know what I mean? So it's not about me doing this because I feel like it's the fact that it's just who I am, and I'm going to be doing this anyways. So it becomes not a do this so that you get that. Like the world always is, do this, look like that, get followers, do this many posts, do 3 posts a day, and then, do this and I mean, sure, it's going to work, people need that. And I'm sure, it work out, but this is who I am. Like, so for me, it's not, it's not really a game, but it's a game. I know. Listen, we're gonna get off track here if you keep messing with me right now. We'll just then they say, listen to what I'm saying. Then is that right? What do you want to say? What else you got to say right now? Yeah, I know everything. Yeah, that's why that's why I'm gonna keep doing it, and that's what we got to keep doing too, right? Look how long it takes the fringe to get somewhat understood, the cutting edge. Right? It's taking all this time and all these people calling this stuff out, for decades. And it's finally now starting to be like somewhat accepted. It's like, oh, maybe that is what's going on. So and that's where that naivety of the child comes in, right? Where you know what you're saying, you know why you're doing it, and you know what you're here for. And it doesn't matter what everybody else is, talking about, right? Like, I was thinking the one time when I was selling Herbalife, and it helped. I helped people lose weight, like serious weight. Like it really did help. But I always had that. I not always, but I think of this sometimes where what was it like for the other people who were in the room when I was talking to them for the first time? Because there's two people, and they're sitting behind me, and they said, "Oh, how's that? What's that about?" Blah 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 blah. And so I turned around and I slapped some sample packs down on the table. Boom, 1, 2 sample packs. Boom, boom. And I was like, all I gotta do is do this. There's this whole thing in there. There's a sheet tells you how to do it. You know what I mean? Just have, shake a day, maybe 2, depending on what you want to do, maybe 3 if you're trying to build muscle. I mean, it depends. So this one's for this, and so I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all the people who were probably looking at us and smiling and laughing or something, oh God, this guy's selling Herbalife, blah, 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 right? Or even if you say that, people have heard of it, they all have their opinions, But the reality of what happened was I made 2 great friends, longtime friends. I mean, we don't really talk too much now, but if we bump into each other, totally friends. And they lost heck of weight. Like they turned out, they did good, and it was a great thing. But seeing it happening, going, so it's we got to start, especially in the spiritual, especially on the fringe. Because we always got something to trigger people. Always. I always got something to trigger people. Look at how hard it is for people to understand about the legal name. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right that way? Am I right? Shout out that way. He's always trying to wake people up about their legal name, and the scam that is, right? Shout out to you, brother. Still doing it. right? Just got to keep doing it. You know, more and more and more people are coming. They're all coming, man. You know, like I said, I get 30 friend requests a day practically on Facebook, maybe 10. I don't know if it's a slow day. And, you know, it's, hey, you want to join my group? You want to, you know, and, or then somebody, oh, I see so much light and blah, blah in your face and in your smile. I'm like, I know. It's like, hey, thanks. You know, I know exactly how much I'm projecting and how much I'm not projecting. You know, you get good at that sort of thing after a while. You know, anytime I laugh or something, it just kicks it up a notch because I like to laugh. I don't know. When I laugh, my vibration gets higher. Like, what's up? What do you want to talk about? You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know, like, and I love it. But that's what, you know, because it's showing how many people are starting to wake up, you know. And, you know, I mean, I'm like, you guys must be new. You know, like, are you late to the party? I mean, man, come on, man. I've been here my whole life, you know. But that's, you know, that's not the point. It's just, and that's what resonating really means, you know. So I was saying earlier, it's not just, is it, oh, I resonate with that because it sounds so true, you know, or it's something that I want to believe in, or it's a nice thought or a nice whatever, you know. Resonating with something might be something negative. You can resonate with trauma, right? Something that you've felt or gone through before, and then you can resonate with. So be careful when resonating with stuff. It has to be at the core of your being, no matter what your opinion is about it. You know, it has to come first, without thought, without consideration, without anything. You know, if you're a Pleiadian, right, or you have Arcturian DNA in this body or something like that, you'll know it. And it won't be because you want to, it won't be because it makes you happy, it won't be because it makes you sad, you know, because until people can understand how to suspend their attachments, you know, and you just attach to everything, or you have an opinion about everything, or, oh, I do with that, or, oh, I don't with that, you know, that's you're missing it. You know what I mean? You're already too confused, you know, because you should just listen, and then you'll know. And that's it. That's where it all comes from, right? Seek the answers and ye shall receive, or whatever, right? The kingdom of heaven lies within, you know, blah blah blah. You know, there's all these little tidbits in there that are so true, you know, in all the books. But the general story is kind of whacked, if you ask me. But anyways, it's all they're busy lately. Oh, nice. Nice. Oh man, yeah, with all the weather, I bet a lot of repairs going on. Painting, yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, man, it's been pouring rain. We need the rain here though, man. We could use more of it, but it's been like 2 weeks straight. We had like a couple days off in between, then another one. But yeah, weather everywhere, huh? Shout out to the whole world, right? And you're gonna see this more, because why? Well, they need more distractions. Their distractions aren't working anymore. So whip out the artificial cloud generator, right? Whip out the energetic lightning bolt machine. You know, they're gonna do it on purpose, man. Like, it's all part of the, you know. And then they gotta make it so that we believe climate change is, you know, a real thing, which obviously climate changing, it's always a real thing. But they just got everybody scared. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, that's what it is, man. What's that? There's a movie, We're All Gonna Die. Oh no, wait, that's Biodome. Yeah. Who says it? It was is when the scientist goes crazy. Oh no, it was the other guy. Yeah, because there's a scene where they locked themselves in there to fix it, but it was Thrash. So he's like, we're all gonna die. The goofy, nerdy scientist guy is pretty funny. That's what it always is. Think about that. That's the reoccurring theme everybody's got to look at, right? Or remind people of, right? How many times have you been reminded this year that we're all going to die? Every day. You know, shit. Yeah, there's some bullshit going on around here, guys. You know, that's all it is, right? Do everything so you don't die. Buy all this stuff. Buy this stuff. Buy that stuff. Buy this. buy extra sweaters, buy extra blankets, buy extra this, buy extra heating, buy extra, and sure, we need, anything extra you got that's a primary resource for you, good to good, get more of it. That's what we need. But, anything, buy this, buy these, tourmalines, or is that what this is? No, what's this one? Turquoise, whatever. That one that's like harder to get, whatever. Like, buy this so that your heart can be aligned. You know what I mean? No, you don't need this to align your heart. You just need quiet. That's what I say about the monks. You don't see monks. I mean, some of them do have some YouTube channels, right? And they're showing you how to do some kung fu and whatnot, but you don't see them sitting over here talking about channeling galactic federations. Maybe there are some in China or something that I don't even know about, but they're not even worried about this stuff. Why? Because they do it on a daily basis, where they challenge their bodies, their minds, their souls. They do the work, and they meditate and they do all this, and that they don't have these, and maybe they do. Maybe I'd love to find that, like a monastery that actually got into some sacred geometry and realizes how much this could help. Could you imagine if they were actually using stuff, all this kind of stuff? They had giant, amethyst geodes or something just sitting there. Like, those places would be extra lit. They'd be putting their head through 5 more bricks when they're crushing bricks, right? Because they have the right energetic frequency. But all of the work can be done from inside, and that's why it's the less is more. What is that, minimalist? Or if you've ever looked at how they sleep on like stone or like wood, like flat, hard, put with like maybe a blanket, just for, you don't want to get splinters, when you're rolling around in the middle of the night. And then like a hard head piece thing they used to use. If you look it up, there's a piece, can't think of what it is, but it's literally meant to make you just sleep in the most uncomfortable position so that you can learn to maintain your body in that position and keep strong during the night and actually sleep and get rested. And your body will, your body gets stronger. We think in the world, we get older and we get weaker and we get this. No. There's, it's not as easy as when you're a kid, if you will, to exert the amount of force or something, but it can be easier because when and you get older, you get smarter, you get wiser, you've practiced, you this. An old OG master will punk the hell out of a 20, 30-year-old, prime shape of his life, and an old grandmaster will punk him in like 2 seconds, and it depends, they never always the same, but there's more to it, man, than just like, like everything, even what we're doing, just all of the spiritual stuff coming out there, all of this, all of that, all the crystal, you know what I mean? It's like, it's all just this big old story that's just coming into view, that we've all known it forever, just waiting for it to happen more and more. And the only reason it's not happening faster is because people are stuck in the old world. That's it. They're stuck in the old world, and then they think that whatever this world is like worse. I don't know why. Like, look at how people react. Like, go to them and say, hey, have you ever like gotten a crystal or played with a crystal, right? They'll be like, what are you talking about? Oh, blah, blah. Like, look at all the levels of resistance that there are over a crystal. Like, it's not even hurting nobody. But meanwhile, you're willing to put up with all these laws and all these rules that are actually screwing people over, but you're afraid to talk about this stuff because we like crystals, you know what I mean? Or because we're talking about spirituality, and it doesn't fit. So it's funny. We definitely gotta maintain the line. Like I said, that's kind of what I wanted to focus on this one, is purging, getting it out of yourself, getting ready for the new, because there's always going to be more coming. And there's going to be more and more and more and more coming. And for most of us, like I said, it's going to get easier because, it's sounding the horns and people are coming. They're starting to come in droves. But what I see with a lot of them is they're still new, you know, um, and not at the soul level, right? But there's a lot of things to get through mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of that, right? So it's a process, and we're doing great. Thank you. Everybody's doing great. It's all going to pay off in the end. You know what I mean? Everything that, pay off. It's all going to be worth it in the end. Anything and everything that we've all gone through, all to come to the realization that, it's all good. It's all good. That's what it all is. It's all good. Quit tripping. Quit tripping. No, it sucks. You had to get a disease and yeah, you had to, live in the hospital for a while. Yeah, it sucks. We know life. We know. We're not saying that, right? But what we're saying is that because of, if you don't focus on the rest, then you're not open to it. So there's a lot more, and it's not scary. It's actually the most fascinating story that's being told, that's being written literally every day, every second of every day, right? So write your own story, write a good story for yourself. I think it's amazing. Yeah, that way. Good point. You died, and when you were dead, you didn't even know it. Exactly. Yep. Yep. You guys know it, man. When it's just people are gonna more and more be able to see with this. They're gonna hear more. They're gonna feel more. And a lot of times, I had a happen to me recently where I don't even think people recognize what they're feeling and how their own thoughts and how their own emotions and how, and I had to be aware of that in that moment. And what I was thinking and what I was doing and what I was projecting, with someone who then if I were to talk to about it, we probably wouldn't even get that far, you know what I mean, into understanding. But without having to say a word, like their soul already knows. Most people of our souls already know. So when we're sitting there hanging out with each other, our higher selves of all the people that are there are still there, right? And so a lot of times it's like, you find yourself talking to their higher selves, and then we'll joke, we'll make a laugh, or joke about something and laugh, and then I'll start my human, I'll make the motion, and then I'll go, oh no, okay, wait, like nobody else heard that or something, or maybe they did they? And then you look at them, and then sometimes what'll happen is then they'll laugh too, and then they'll say, why are we laughing, right? And then that's how they know they're connected, they heard it, they felt it to laugh, but they didn't hear what happened. They don't know why, you know what I mean? So that's funny, man. It's great to be able to be incarnated, to have a physical body and be connected to so many different energies and multi-dimensions, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it is pretty cool to be incarnated and to experience it through this way. But again, the people don't, well, I don't want to, have a body, blah, blah, blah. It's, pain, it's this, that, it's like, yeah, it's a lot of it. But when we realize it's not the end, it doesn't end here. Like we can enjoy the ride, a lot more. And I think that's important. Yeah, you're in total peace. Exactly. It's the second we leave, it's all good again, and maybe not for everybody. There's some, evildoer types out there who probably have to keep going through things. And I honestly think that's what this is. They're the ones that have to reincarnate again until they learn, whatever lessons it is that it's going to be. But I think that's how it's been. And that a lot of that's going to change. What's important If you guys are even here, I'm going to get off in a minute. Maybe I'll mention this on another show, but hold on. I'm going to lose it. The reason why they say that the effects on Earth and what is going to happen on Earth is going to change the cosmoses. It's going to ripple out, and why it's so important what's happening on Earth, and so many beings are here to check it out. So many this, that, and ever, and it's just such this focal point, right? And then it's just going to reverberate out into the whole multiverse, is because what's being changed here is going to be an example for a long time for many beings in many galaxies to come. Just like the concept of we have to learn through all this tragedy. No, we don't. And you guys have heard me make that argument before, where it's like, no, I'm pretty sure we could learn through love. I didn't need to burn my hand and feel pain to know it helps, but I could have just as well somebody looked at me and said, hey, if you touch that, it's going to hurt and it's going to be painful. And you might singe your fingernail or your fingertips off or something, don't do it. Trust me, I love you. You know what I mean? And in that knowing, I wouldn't need to do it, or, I'd get a stick, or something, and put the stick on there and then watch it light up and go, okay. Or I test it, put my hand near it and go, whoa, I don't know, little things like that. Like, we don't have to learn from the negative, And sure, curiosity, what did it do? Killed the cat. Yeah, singed his fingers off is what it did, right? So your curiosity and your need to touch everything and, whatever, like, got you burned, right? Well, sometimes you don't need to, and it's okay, but that point, the way of teaching people, because if we're here to teach, if we're here to remind people, or here to, rehab for people who are negative souls, and then they got to come back to Earth. If this is the way of teaching that rehab, they're never going to get out of here, because it's too much oppression. It's too much pain for a lesson. We need a lot more love. Like, they're not going to learn. And that's why people get stuck here, because they don't find or remember and keep with them that unconditional love. They get caught up in the world, give up on the world, whatever, this kind of stuff. So the way we choose to do things from here on out on this earth is going to change everything for a long time. And I don't know if that's mostly just me saying that because that's what I'm here to do, but I'm pretty sure that's what, because that's what I'm here to do. And it doesn't matter, like, on the human level, you know what I mean? Like that'll all filter down from the soul, right? Soul consciousness, right, filters down into soul. All of these things, this is why some of us are watchers, if you will. Like, we're very old souls and we already get it. And we're here to watch as it all plays out and what people do. And we're here to respond back, reconnaissance, and say, hey, no, that's not a good way of doing this. Like I tease about the flood. So your plan on healing the earth was to flood everything on it. Like, we need to think of a new plan. So that's why some of us are here. We need to come up with a new plan. And we have to make sure that we get every angle, every single angle on every single thing. And that's a lot. It's a lot of work. But you guys have watched me for some time. I'm on all the angles. I'm on as many of them as I can be, at any given time that I'm able to recognize, right? I'm on them all, but I'm only human here too. So we got to work together, I'm only human, I should say. I am also human too. So it's teamwork, guys. It's teamwork. All right. We're literally the Navy SEALs that they sent in, whatever you want to call it. All right. It's funny. Yeah, guys. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Been an hour 44, coming up on 45. It's night times. I already ate before the show, so I'm good. I'm getting ready to pass out. Seven. It's only 7:05. Man, it's the weather. It's it's too dark. Way too soon. All right. Is there anything else for now? Yeah, no. They're just saying to relax. Relax. Get back to you. Get back to your life. Stop. Get back to what you want out of, what you're making it to be, and be it. Right? All the joy, all the excitement is yours for the taking. You just have to take it and then go be excited and go do stuff, or go don't do stuff, but be excited or be happy or be whatever you want. Go, like the card from earlier said, it's closer than you think. It's already right here, right? Like the concept even of soul or ascending or light body or other aspects or all this, it's already right here. Your soul is right here. Your light body, it's right here. Well, I mean, it's, it's all around here. It's floating around you. It's trying to get in, more like it's already here, guys. You know it. So, all right, with that, I'll let you guys go. Much love. Happy New Year. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Much love and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it and helped with something. But stretch, purge, get ready, because we got round 2 coming up. Round 2, whatever round. I'm not, you know what I'm saying. Next round is coming up. Keep purging. Take a week. Take the rest of this week. Drink a lot extra water. Right. Don't go crazy. Just take a week off. Take a week off. Purge. Right. Shout out B Rave. Right. You just got to settle into energies more. Just right. Let go, and stop trying to hold on. And the ride is, it'll be that much more fun. Get yourself out of the way. That's why I said just sleep. Just keep napping if you need to. Just make sure you're all rested up. And then you want to get up and stretch, go get up and stretch, then go right back to bed. Because you get out of your way. You do the most, they say, the most healing, when you're sleeping, right? Unless you get really good at meditating. All right, guys. Much love. See you next time. Peace.